Alright, hello. Here we have Scott, whose girlfriend Claudine was kind enough to get him a posed running lesson with me, with Barefoot Benny, for a Christmas gift. This is second Sunday in January, January 7th, I believe, 2012. So Scott had run a marathon previously, but he was getting injured. He's getting injured running. He has Achilles pain, and he had some other nagging injuries. So he decided to try running in Vibrams, and it was going okay, but he was still getting injured. So let's go. Let's go check out his running form before. He's just running his normal sneakers that he usually runs with, and I'm just going to go through at normal speed for you. Smiles for the camera. One thing that I noticed, we'll play it again. One thing that I noticed is that he's kind of bobbing up and down. Let's check that out. He's taking really long strides and he's trying to run on his toes. He needs to relax those ankles a little bit more. Let's get it into pose picture right about here. Alright, let's go frame by frame over here. So, alrighty. So he's just about in pose. You can see the foot is almost underneath the hip. Maybe one more frame and it would be. Alright, so here the foot is underneath the hip. And what we're probably going to see is him pushing off with these toes, which is going to cause his head to bob up and down every single stride. So let's just check it out. So you can see he's really, watch the kind of the path that his leg is taking. It's kind of like just bobbing up and down, getting some good air every time he runs. It's that vertical oscillation. Other than that, when he lands, his hips are almost above the ball of his foot, which isn't too bad, but that pushing off, and he's back in pose right about here. So about 2 frames out of pose. Not bad. Not bad. It's definitely not, he's not landing on his heels, which is already a good positive sign. But he is, you can kind of see he's pointing that ankle down. He's plantar flexing that ankle. So he's really worried about the landing, so he's going to land on those toes. He wants to land more on the ball of the foot, but not too bad. So let's check it out. His after a couple hours almost of instruction with me, he's taken off his shoes. He's got a little bit higher of a cadence now. He's still it still looks like he's pushing off a little bit more. Let's look at it one more time. And let's pause it. Let's go back a couple. Okay, so he's in pose right here, right? The foot is underneath the hip. Back is nice and straight. Head is up. Eyes are level. Arms are, they're not flailing around. They're nice and tucked. He's on the ball of his foot. This foot turns out a little bit. That's just probably a tightness caused from a tightness in his hip flexor, IT band area, so be careful with that. So what we want to see is, again, pulling this right foot straight up off the ground, and the foot goes underneath the hip. That's what we want to see for the pull, and this leg will just fall to the ground, assuming there's a nice regular, nice good pull. So the foot's still on the ground. That's fine. Let's start pulling that up. Toes are still on the ground. Let's pull those up. All right, finally, toes are off the ground. He's in midair. That's what running is, 2 feet off the ground, and this foot hasn't landed yet. And this leg is already starting to come forward, which is great. Make sure that you keep that ankle nice and loose, nice and relaxed. Don't want to point that foot down. So he has impact with the ground. I don't know if he's even bearing any weight yet. Maybe, but probably not. Let's check on the next frame. So boom, now there's definitely weight on that foot. He wants to land. So I don't even consider this landing yet, because you can see he doesn't have any weight on that foot really. Now he has weight on the foot. When he has weight on the foot, he wants to see the hips above the ball of the foot right here. But as you can see, he's almost in pose. This leg is already coming forward. Boom, 1 frame. Almost back in pose. Maybe another half a frame. So I say he's about 1.5, not even 1.25 frames out of pose, which is excellent. Definitely want to try to be even less than that. But this is just a normal pace, maybe, I don't know, 8 30-minute miles, something like that. Just a nice solid pace, and so that's pretty good. Again, just be careful. This ankle might start getting a little bit tight because the foot is going out. Work on your balance. Work on some ankle exercises. Work on loosening up the ankle. You can see the toes, how the toes are pointed out a little bit. Just a minor thing, not really a big deal. One more time. So there's no weight there yet. This leg is already coming forward. Boom, he's got weight on that foot. This left leg is coming forward. So again, he still wants to land with those hips above the ball of the foot, but not too bad. Make sure that back stays nice and flat throughout the whole run. Boom, he's back in pose. Nice bent knee on the support leg. Eyes are level. Looks pretty good. Let's check it out at a faster pace. Let's just go real time. So much nicer pace. Look how like soft. It's like a gazelle. It looks great. This looks pretty good. Maybe one side, maybe he might be favoring one side a little bit over the other. Not really sure, but let's just go check it out in slow-mo. Let's go start from pose. So basically he's in pose right here, almost. Again, you want to see that pull of the right foot up underneath the hip. Let's see what happens. Foot's still on the ground. Careful not to push off. If he's pushing off, you're going to see his head bob up and down, up and down. But I don't think we're going to see it a little bit. Definitely a little bit. Almost pointing the toe, but not really. This looks pretty good. Looks like he's going to land on the ball of his foot. Boom. Weight is on the ball of his foot. This right leg is already coming forward. You want it, again, in theory, he wants to land with the hips directly underneath, directly over the ball of the foot, and this right foot underneath his hips. Very difficult to do, but that's the goal. Still, boom, he's again almost back in pose, about a frame and a half out of perfect pose position. So say he's in pose, almost in pose right here. Again, he's going to want to pull this left foot off the ground underneath his hip. Leaves the ground. He's pointing those toes a little bit. Just be careful with that. Boom, weight is on the foot. Next frame, he wants to be in pose. So overall it's pretty good. Definitely less bobbing up and down from before. Let's just check it out one more time. I think to help with that, just a little bit higher of a cadence. Work on that lean from the ankles. But overall, it does look pretty good. So Scott, very nice meeting you today. Great job, and keep it up.